want none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ, the Tar Heel. And in this episode of Russ's Rant in the Tar Heel Mobile, I want to talk about the University of North Carolina. You say, of course you do. That's exactly what the Tar Heel Huddle is about. Okay, touche. Well, I want to talk about what I like to refer to as the University of National Champions. We'll put it that way. So I was looking up basically the institutions or the schools that have the most national champions or national championships, and this is obviously culminates all sports, all sporting events. And the University of North Carolina is number 8 out of all the universities in the entire country with 44 national championships, and that's obviously including team sports and individual sports. Stanford, in comparison, has 123, which is pretty stinking crazy. UCLA has 118, Southern Cal has 107, Oklahoma State actually has 52, Penn State has 51, Texas has 47, Arkansas has 46, and the University of North Carolina has 44. In no sport, in any sport, the most dominating sport, as far as a team dominating that entire sport nationwide, is women's soccer in North Carolina, where the women's soccer team has won 21 of the possible 37 national championships. That is ridiculous. That's over 50%. So we come from a pedigree of winning. We come from a pedigree of not only winning, but dominating sports. We come from a pedigree where mediocrity is not acceptable. We come from a pedigree of being one of the best athletic institutions in the entire nation, which leads me to the sport that, there's no other way to put it. It is the creme de la creme, if you will. And that's college football. College football is, and will probably always be, it's the moneymaker, man. It's going to be that everyone really pays attention to. And it's going to generate the most revenue, etc., etc. And it's a sport where UNC has never won a national championship. UNC has never appeared in a national championship game. UNC has never made the college football playoff. Up in, 2020, when Carolina made the Orange Bowl, that was one of the first times that they had made a major bowl game in a long time. So it's really interesting to me how the University of North Carolina is number 8 in the entire country in national championships. It comes from a pedigree of winning and success. It's almost perfectly positioned on the eastern part of the United States, where it separates the northernmost states, obviously, from the southernmost states. So you can literally recruit from everywhere on the eastern border. And yet we have a football program that, it seems as if mediocrity is acceptable. And I don't like that. I can't stand it. I can't stand mediocrity, especially when you're better than mediocrity. That's when it really becomes an issue, because obviously, in competition, somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose. There are going to be great teams and there are going to be not so good teams. There are going to be national champions and there are going to be people who don't win a lot of football games. There's no reason that the University of North Carolina should accept mediocrity in any sport, especially in football, where, we are a part of the South where football is king. And yes, basketball season's coming up. And yes, basketball, had a Tar Heel one time tell me, that one of the reasons why basketball is so important to us is because it's the sport that gave us our identity. Hey, touche, I understand that. I completely understand that. But it still doesn't make it okay for us to be accepting of mediocrity in football. And you say, Russ, who is accepting of mediocrity in football? Well, I would say it seems like most Tar Heels, would seem to think that 6-1 is like really good. They're like, man, we're 6-1. Like, there's a lot of Tar Heel fans that are saying we're 6-1, man. Like, what are we complaining about? This is North Carolina. I hate that. I despise it. Because the only thing you're doing is you're enabling mediocrity. And we're better than that. There's no other way to put it. We are better than that. You're enabling mediocrity. To be okay with 6-1. You know when I would be okay with 6-1? This is when it's okay to be 6-1. When you're the University of North Carolina. When you play, we'll just say Alabama in Tuscaloosa in the second game of the season and you drop that one. That's when it's okay to be 6-1. And I'm talking about the 2023 North Carolina Tar Heels. So, I probably should have prefaced that even before I went into that. You have to take in each individual season and you separate it and you look at how good your team is and then you compare it against the teams that you faced. Because you can't just carte blanche say, hey, 6-1 is okay. If we were 6-1 against Fayetteville State, North Carolina A&T, North Carolina Central, Charlotte, name three other small schools, and you were like, hey, we're 6-1, we're successful. No. We're the University of North Carolina, we're the flagship university. That's not successful. Okay? That would be underachieving. 6-1 is okay when you lose to Alabama and Tuscaloosa. It's okay when you schedule Georgia and they're the back-to-back national champions and, they beat you. Okay. All right. And I'm talking about, for all intents and purposes, most years. We're just assuming that Georgia is better than North Carolina. That is when, hey man, I'm happy to be 6-1. Let me tell you when I'm not happy to be 6-1. And this is just the thing that I can't shake, and I just don't understand why so many Carolina fans are like, hey, you should be happy. I don't like being 6-1 when we should be 7-0. So, this all stems from, listen, we are allowed to disagree with each other. It's okay. I'm just giving you a Russ the Tar Heel side on this one. I was in the live stream or the, for Inside Carolina, Tommy Ashley and Don Callahan were doing a recruiting bid. And, and this is just a disagreement. And this is why I think it's an interesting conversation. And I think it's one that we need to have as North Carolina fans and as individuals that follow and, monitor the program, if you will. I mean, my job is obviously different as just a normal fan sharing my feelings on YouTube as a Don Callahan or somebody who, really delves in deep into the program and they cover recruiting and et cetera, et cetera. So, we have different outlooks on this thing, but, I had posited that, and they brought it up on the feed, which I appreciate because I think it's a topic worth discussing. Tommy Ashley put it up there, my comment basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, was, Carolina is 6-1, 3-1 the ACC, and they should be 7-0, 4-0. So technically speaking, they've underachieved this year. Now, I don't want that to go over any of your heads what I mean by that. If you're better than all 7 teams that you've played, if you have a better coaching staff, if you have better athletes, etc., etc., of all 7 teams that you played, and you're 6-1, well, don't you think that means that you should be 7-0? And if you're not 7-0, then technically you've underachieved. I mean, imagine Georgia right now at 6-1. Do you think that they'd be having this conversation of, well, it's just Georgia? Let's say that Georgia lost to who'd they play recently? Let's say, I don't even know if Vanderbilt's 1-4 or 1-5 or whatever their record is. Let's just say they're a 1-loss team. That's probably the closest we're going to be able to get to a Virginia. And Vanderbilt played Georgia real tough for about 3.5 quarters. Let's say that they lost to Vanderbilt in Vandy. Do you think Georgia's like, hey man, we should be happy to be 6-1? No. You know why? Because they're not okay with mediocrity over there. And I'm really tired of, honestly, people pointing back to the history of North Carolina football and saying, bro, we're coming from 2 and 3 win seasons, man. We should be happy about this. No. I'm not happy about it when we're better than that. Because to be happy about that is to be accepting of mediocrity and underachieving. And we should not be cultivating an environment for our young athletes and those who represent the University of North Carolina. It shouldn't be okay. You know, that is my opinion on it. I wouldn't tell my own son that was okay. You know, am I going to encourage my son? Yes. Am I going to use it as a teaching moment? Of course. But that's how I think about these things. You know, I want my son to feel a loss. And I want him to feel it even more so if it's a loss that shouldn't have happened. Does that make any sense, man? Does that make any sense? You know, and I'm trying to kind of put this in there as easily and, you know, so that you can digest it as easy as possible. And hopefully I'm articulating myself well enough to get the point across. You know, and I love everything that Tommy Ashley and Don Callahan do. But, you know, he has Don Callahan, you know, do you agree with the Tar Heel Huddle that UNC is underachieved this year? And Don Callahan said no, because they're 6-1. And I vehemently disagree with that. I do. And, you know, as much as I respect, you know, what those guys do and everything, I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat it. You're okay with mediocrity, and I'm not. You know, as a fan, as a football connoisseur, if you will, as someone who is very much invested in this program, you know, both, you know, financially and my time, and because I love it, man. I love Carolina athletics. I do, because it represents the state that I'm from, and I'm gonna be there, you know, hook, line, and sinker, or however that phrase goes. But I just wanted to talk about that. Is that okay? You know, is it okay to just be accepting when it's football season? You know, hey, we're all right. We're 6-1. Some years, yeah. When you got Georgia on the schedule, you know, when you play Penn State, you know, up at College Station, you know, if you play Ohio State in the shoe, yeah, I get it. I could stomach 6-1. Let's say your first ACC game was in Death Valley at Clemson. Most years, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be disappointed if we don't beat Clemson in Death Valley this year. We should beat that team. It's a very beatable team. I don't care what the name is on their jersey. We are better than they are. But at the beginning of the year, I would have told you, and that's what I said. I said, hey, man, that Death Valley game is going to be tough, dude. I don't know if we can take that one. Well, now that I've watched this team play, you know, they should beat Clemson. They should beat them in Death Valley. It might be a close game. I'm sure it'll be a close game. But they should beat them. So, you're like, are you going to be upset if the Heels in 2023 don't beat Clemson in Death Valley? Yeah, but it's Clemson. I don't give a rip because we're Carolina. I mean, you know, we are the 2023 North Carolina Tar Heels, and they're the 2023 Clemson Tigers, and we're better than them. And I don't know why that's so hard to kind of like grasp. I think it's just like one of those, you know, it's a, I don't even know the right wording, man. I think people are scared to say what needs to be said. I really do. Like at the end of the day, man, it's like you realize that you're going to get pushback from all kinds of people for insinuating, whether it's true or not, that North Carolina is on some kind of different level this year, which I believe that they are. I'm not saying they're like the Clemson of 2018, 2016, 2017. That's not what I'm saying, okay? They're the 2023 Tar Heels. And in 2023, I believe that they can play with anybody in the country. They have the talent, and when the coaching staff's got their head out of their ass, they have the coaching staff to stinking make a real deep run wherever they need to go. And we should not be okay with the, oh, shucks, you know, we'll fix it next time. Shouldn't be okay with that, man. Because we should be aspiring for greatness. You know, I've heard a lot of people say, you know, 11-1 would still be a great season. You know what? 11-1 would still be a great season. But at the same time, you know what I would say? You know what I would say in 2023? We're not talking about the 2017, 2018 Tar Heels. We're talking about the 2023 Tar Heels. You know what I would say once we get to the end of the season, 11-1, playing Florida State in the ACC championship game? You know what I would say? I would say, you know what, guys? Hey, it's pretty exciting. We haven't been here that many times, if ever. We underachieved this year. And I mean, I know that there are people that are like, bro, what are you talking about? And then that sentence follows, it's North Carolina. Yeah, exactly. It's 2023 North Carolina. And we are better than all 12 teams on our roster. You know, one of the arguments was, one of the little bit of pushback that I got was, you know, these are college kids. You know, you never know what's going on in their life. And hey, absolutely, I agree. You know, I'm not at all pushing back on that. You know, I mean, that's a true statement. They're college kids, man. These guys are just starting life, and they're young. And with youth, many times comes immaturity, and you know, you can't necessarily always expect them to, you know, give you a great output every single week. Okay, I understand that. But you are still better than all 12 teams on your schedule. And there's 120 kids on that team. So in some way, shape, or form, somebody's got to stink and pick up the ball and make it happen. You know, it's just a simple fact of the matter is somebody has got to stink and push us through to the finish line. Especially a team like Virginia, because we are a superior team to them. And you know, this is my last time, hopefully, talking about the UVA game. But it's the thing that bothers me so much, like I've already alluded to, is just that stinking, well, we're North Carolina. It's okay. It's acceptable. It's not acceptable. When you should be 7-0 and you're 6-1, you have underachieved. And I don't know why that's so hard. I think it's just because, you know, when you finally acknowledge that, when you finally acknowledge that, it raises the ceiling so much that it makes people uncomfortable. You shouldn't be uncomfortable with the possibility of success, man. You know, you should want that. You know, Mac talks about all the time, hey, it's good that people are getting mad during a loss these days because it means that they care. It's way better than if they don't care. Yeah, but what's even better, Coach? What's even better is that when you're better than all the teams you're playing and you're winning all the football games. And we did a great job of that, man. We did a great job of that. Like I said, I really believe that the Virginia game was an outlier, but man, it stinking cuts deep. And just the whole point of this video, the whole point of this rant is to just compel people, don't be okay with mediocrity, man. In any phase of your life, don't be okay with it. Don't be okay with it in your work performance. Don't be okay with it in your family life. Don't be okay with it in your finances. Don't be okay with it with your athletics. Don't be okay with it with your physical health. Just, you know, don't be okay with mediocrity. And all you can do is what you can do. But if you're not doing all that you can do, well, then you know what you're doing at the end of the day? You're underachieving. And that's the whole point of the video is, you know, Carolina fans, especially on the football side, man, we have got to start having a similar mindset to when the basketball team struggles. Kind of like last year, how that was just unacceptable. It should be a similar mindset. We have less games, you know, and a loss in college football is so much more detrimental to what you're trying to accomplish than one loss in a basketball season. So, you know, think about that, man. The next time you hear somebody do the all shucks, you know, it's just one loss thing. Think about that. Correct them. Correct them when it needs to be corrected. Let's put it that way. Correct them when it needs to be corrected. You lose to stinking a powerhouse. You lose to even a really good football program. I wouldn't even say Florida State is like a powerhouse, but you lose to Florida State in the ACC championship game. Okay. You know, they're a good football team. Okay. But you lose to Virginia and somebody's like, oh man, it's okay. You know, it's only one loss. No. No, my friend. Stop that. Stop that, because it's that mentality right there that keeps people from having the fire under their ass to not lose that game. It's that mentality in life that will stink and hurt you, dude. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. And I've experienced this myself. I'm speaking from experience here. You know, I just missed that day in the gym. It's okay. And then that just kind of steamrolls down to you. Now you're missing, you know, a week, a month. You know, I'll just call into work that day. Nothing's wrong. And then next thing you know, you're using your stinking hours. I've never done this. So, but I'm just, you know, I'm trying to think of ways to drive home the point, if you will. You know, you're using all your stinking sick leave, and then you actually get sick and you don't have any leave. Like I said, that is not my situation at all. You know, et cetera, man. So just don't be okay with mediocrity. That's it, man. We should expect greatness at the University of North Carolina. We are North Carolinians. We are Tar Heels. And we have a top 10 athletic program in the entire country. I mean, there are tons of big-name schools that aren't even close to on that list because all they have is football. But the simple fact of the matter is what is important. It's football and basketball. And we should expect greatness. That's my end. So Russ's rant today, man. So like I said, man, if you haven't already, brother, like, share, and subscribe. Comment down in the comment section what you think. about my take on the whole mediocrity thing. Is it okay? Is 6-1 okay when you should be 7-0? Let me know down in the comment section, man. I'm really interested what Tar Heel Nation thinks, man. I love you guys, and we will catch y'all on the next one.